In this video, I want to show you whether it's possible to bake a frozen sourdough. This sourdough has been sitting inside of the freezer for a week. Now this would be cool because this way you could just be preparing a couple of doughs, let them sit in your freezer and then bake them whenever you want. Now is that gonna work? I have no idea. I want to show you, I want to experiment on this. Now if you have already tried this, I would appreciate your comments in the comment section to give some feedback on what could be improved. Please enjoy the video and I'm super excited to test whether this is going to work or not. Hello, my dough. This dough has been sitting in the freezer for more than a week now. I think the first challenge is going to be, to get the dough out of this Benetton somehow. Oh, look at this. So normally I would be preheating the Dutch oven. I think that's important for those which have higher hydration. So this dough has around 80% hydration, because else the dough is just going to flatten out quite a lot. With the high heat, the surface forms some sort of gel, and that keeps the dough together, making sure it doesn't float out too much. Of course, if you over fermented your dough, it's gonna flatten out anyways. But now with this dough, check this out. I can't score it. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna be putting this in a non-preheated Dutch oven. I'm using parchment paper because I don't want the dough to stick to the Dutch oven, which is what happens also if you don't preheat. I have to be careful to not overcook the top part. The inner part of the dough should also be finished cooking. I'm gonna be using a thermometer in the end. When the center reaches around 95 degrees Celsius, then the dough is done. Of course, the inner parts are gonna take much longer than the outer parts. But I'm hoping that this gel forms anyways because of us having the temperature all around it, and that's going to help. I have no idea. Let's see this. Oh, and I'm gonna try to score this maybe in 10 minutes down the bake. So I'll just bake this for 10 to 20 minutes, open this up again, try to give it a score, and hoping it's gonna get some sort of ear. I have no idea. Let's test this. Upper bottom heat, no fan, and 230 degrees Celsius. Oh, and I need to clean my oven again. Sorry. Please give me some of the oven spring. See you later. So 20 minutes later, this is how the dough looks like. And yeah, surface has heated up. You can still touch it, it's not too warm, but the bottom is definitely still not baked yet. I just scored it. It's going back to the oven and I'm super excited to see what's gonna happen next. Hello, another 20 minutes later, and look at this. Our dough even opened up a little bit. This is looking great. I'm just gonna be taking the thermometer and I'll measure the temperature inside. Look at this, this is crazy. The dough is already at 94 degrees Celsius. This means this dough is already done. That was fast. I really didn't expect that. So yeah, now we just need to make sure that we get some good browning here of the crust. So I'm gonna be putting this back to the oven without the lid to get that Maillard reaction going, which is gonna give us that super nice crust with different colors. The more colors, the more taste. And now I'm going to finish letting this bake like that without the Dutch oven because I want this bread to have nice coloring from the bottom as well. And voila, the final bread. Interesting how the surface looks. So much different from the regular loaves. Our bread, it has a nice crust. It didn't open up quite as much, but it opened up more than I expected. Let's check out how the inside of this bread looks like. So what's my expectation? My expectation is that we're gonna have several large pockets of air because the crust formed relatively quickly here. That's because it was still frozen. So the crust heated up way faster than the actual interior. And this blocked the oven spring. The bread wasn't able to rise as much as it in theory could. Not looking too bad. I mean, look at this. So those pockets here, I think those can be explained by exactly what I just said. The crust formed relatively quickly. But other than that, just have a look at this fluffiness here. I think this is looking great. Outside, not so much. Inside, I'm very, very, very happy with the result. I'm wondering if the taste is any different now because we froze it. I'm gonna test that. It has nice coloring, that's for sure. It's crisp and it's soft on the inside. Let's test this. It tastes very good. It tastes a little bit floury here. Maybe that's the flour which I typically wrap the bread with, and this flour wasn't able to merge with the dough because it froze. Yeah, it tastes a little bit floury, the crust at least. The inside is super nice. I don't notice a major difference from this part of the dough. Sorry, this part of the bread. So yeah, I would be super curious to hear your thoughts on this experiment. Do you have ways to improve the technique? What would you have done differently? And I do think that for a hobby baker at home, this is definitely a viable option if you want to have fresh bread. Make a larger batch and then just freeze a few of the loaves and bake them whenever you want. Super good. From a visual perspective, they are not so nice, but yeah, for that, please do share some feedback. I'm super curious to hear that. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you had fun. Hope you learned something new. And as always, may the gluten be with you.